Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm going to wait a few minutes and see who comes on. Hopefully, I have some folks that are joining me this evening. Just going to wait a minute or so just to see who's here. As you come in, tell me hi. Let me know that you're here. And tell me what your definition of a miracle is. How do you define miracles? What do you think a miracle is? As you come in, like I said, tell me hi. Hi, everybody. Here we go. Folks coming in. And tell me what you think a miracle is, how you define a miracle. You're welcome. I try to give reminders to folks and let y'all know. I know it's been a while, so I appreciate everybody being here and taking the time to be with me this evening. So as you come in, make sure you say hi. And just like to thank everybody that's joining me via Facebook. And also, I don't know if there's anybody on YouTube or not. For some reason, I'm not seeing YouTube. So I'm sorry if you're on YouTube and I can't see you. I'm sorry. It looks like everybody that's coming in right now is from Facebook. So, okay, so some folks are answering my question. Thank you. What do you think a miracle is? How do you define a miracle? Somebody said it was something only God can do. Somebody else is saying that it's just something that you've really wanted or needed that comes true for you. And yeah, so I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're ready to talk about miracles. Like I said, thank you for being here, and thanks to all the people that are watching on the replay. Right? Thank y'all too for coming and watching it, taking the time to watch it. I hope y'all enjoy it. I have a really great story that I hope y'all are going to enjoy tonight, and then I'm going to answer some of y'all's questions in a little bit. But I know everybody's been busy, and it's been a day probably. So why don't you just take a minute, close your eyes, sit comfortably, taking a deep breath. And as you exhale, just release the day from your body, all the tension. Taking another deep breath. As you exhale, just relax your mind. Know you're in a safe place. This is a safe space. Just take in a deep breath and, I don't know, think about all of the blessings that you've been bestowed, all the things for which you're thankful, all the joy, that you've had, things that bring you great joy. And just hold that love, that gratitude, that joy in your heart for a second. And know that you're never alone. And know that you're always loved. Take in another deep breath and exhale. Then you can open up your eyes and come back to the room. So, so some folks have answered the question, what are miracles? Miracles were protecting my sons and grandson from tragedy. A miracle is in the eye of the beholder. Sure, somebody, when I asked it on Facebook yesterday, somebody said miracles happen every day all around us. We just got to keep our eyes open and be aware. And that's also true. So I'll just tell y'all my definition of a miracle is a change in my perception from fear to love, from judgment to forgiveness, from ostracizing somebody to accepting them, right? To me, a miracle is anytime love wins out as well, right? Anytime it doesn't have to be something big where our guardian angels save us. It can be something small, just where love is winning out, and all of what comes with that, and how I see somebody saying Linda saying that something that had no chance of happening, but happens anyway, right? And so that's a good segue actually, um, because that's going to be part of my story really tonight, is something that had seemingly had no chance of happening, but happened anyway. So before I get started with the story, I got to give you a little tiny bit of backstory, so that you understand why it was strange that what happened. So most of y'all know I'm number five. I'm the youngest of five children, and number four is my sister Marcia, and we pronounce her name Marcia, and me and Marcia are, I don't know, two peas in a pod. I don't know what else to say. My mom kind of raises, even though we're 4 years apart, my mom kind of raised us like twins, and so we always laughing and giggling even to this day. My grandmother nicknamed us the Gigglers. And, we have just always been very close. And, we always knew when we were in trouble when we heard our dad go, Marcia, Gail Helen, like, uh-oh, we in trouble, So anyway, yeah, so it's important for y'all to know that part, because that's going to play a big part later on. So anyway, back in November, I had to go to the emergency room. And while I was there, they did a CAT scan. And although the CAT scan showed that everything was okay with what they were looking for, um, they it also showed that there was a lesion on my right kidney. And so as I was leaving the emergency room that day, the emergency room doctor kind of said, "Oh, by the way, we found this lesion on your right kidney, and you should contact your primary care physician and go have further testing of that, because we're not sure what that is." So I was like, okay. So I contacted my PCP, and she set up some more tests. Had another different kind of CAT scan done, and it came back inconclusive. So then they sent me, and this is all happening like Thanksgiving, it was like Thanksgiving and then into December. So it was holiday time. Anyway, so they send me to go get this MRI. They say you need to go get an MRI. And this is a little funny side story, but when I was getting my MRI done, there was a man in there in a suit. And so, I told them hello, and, being me, right? And he is on his phone. He starts talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know, when I'm going to get there, but, I'll get there soon enough. It'll probably be 5 or 6 o'clock before I can get there." And he's talking, to somebody on the phone. And then he knew somebody that worked there, and she came, and he was like, "Yeah, I gotta bring I thought he had just come from church or something." And then I hear him saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring him across the lake. I gotta go across the lake. I gotta bring him across the lake, all this kind of stuff." And I was like, "What in the heck?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, he's joking." He's like, "Well, he's not going anywhere or whatever." And And so I was like, wow, I don't know what he's talking about. But then when I left, he walked out at the same time as me, and he had a van where he was taking a deceased body somewhere across the lake. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that poor person has been in the back of that van, you know? But of course, who else would that happen to except for me, right? So anyway, that's just a funny side story. So go and I have the MRI, and the MRI is also pretty inconclusive. But my PCP said she did not want me to have to wait. So the radiologist that read the MRI said that it was borderline. There was a differential that needed, it was some number, and it was on the borderline. So he said he wanted me to wait 6 months, have another one done, and see if there was any change. And so my PCP said, no, we're not waiting that long. Because if it is something, then it could be bad news by the time you go in June. So she referred me rather to a urologist. And she said, it's holidays. You probably won't hear from him till the end of December. And, they schedule their own appointments. So I'm like, okay. So I waited. The next morning, I got a phone call, and it was from the urologist, and they said, we're ready to schedule your appointment. So I was like, okay, great. So get on the phone. She opens up her calendar. I open up mine, and she goes, oh, well, look at this. This rarely happens, but somebody just canceled their appointment for tomorrow morning. So we can take you tomorrow morning. Can you come tomorrow morning? I'm like, absolutely. So I'm like, divine intervention, like when you have the opportunity given, you take it, right? So I said, absolutely. So I went to the urologist the next morning, and he said that it was borderline, and he wasn't sure about the language that the radiologist used, but he wanted to take the recommendation and wait until June, which is now, right? Wait until now to have a very specific ultrasound done, that would absolutely show me whether or not this lesion was cancerous. So I'm like, okay, fine. So, he said, you're going to have, there's like one radiologist that reads these kinds of ultrasounds. So it's going to be hard to get in to see him. I don't think his calendar's open yet. We're going to have to wait maybe a month or two. So I'm like, no problem, no problem. Well, on my way home from the doctor, I get a phone call, and it's the ultrasound people. And they're like, we're ready to schedule your appointment for June. So I was like, great, let's do it. So we were scheduling my appointment and everything. I got home. I was like, oh, I could take a break. I was getting a little something to drink. And my phone goes off, and I look, and there's a text message from my hairstylist. Her name is Dana. Dana texted me, and she said, hey, are you coming to your appointment? And I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot with all this other mess going on. Totally forgot. I said, I'll explain to you when I get there. Yes, I'm coming right now. I don't live 5 minutes from the salon, right? So I go rushing over to the salon. I get to the salon, and she's like, oh, so I'm telling her what's going on. Well, before I even told her what was going on, we were, walked in, and she was talking to another client that was in there. And that lady, she was saying, oh, this lady, she's an overachiever. She's an engineer, she's a doctor, and now she wants to be an attorney. And the lady looked at me, and she said, I know, I'm crazy, and I said, no, I said, you're not crazy, I said, if you have that good of a brain, I said, then do it, more power to you. So anyway, we go about, I tell Dana what's going on or whatever. She washes my hair. And when we finished washing my hair, she's like, okay, well, you're going to have to wait a minute because, I got to get to Marcia first. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, she was like, um, uh, Marcia's got to get her hair done. But I'm like, what Marcia? what are you talking about, Marcia? Like, I was unaware that Dana even knew anything about my sister Marcia. I was like, what are you talking about, Marcia? I was thinking Marcia's not here. And she says, yeah, Marcia. She kept saying Marcia. And I was like, wait, time out. And I was like, you have a client here right now whose name is Marcia? And she's like, yeah. And I just realized I forgot to tell a very important part of the story, which was when I went to the doctor that morning, the receptionist's name was Gail. And she kept saying Gail this and Gail that and the other thing. So I met that receptionist that morning and her name was Gail. Then I go to the salon and this lady's name is Marcia. And she says she's the overachiever, the one that's an engineer and a doctor and now wants to be an attorney. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was like, that is so weird. I've never heard Marcia and Gail in the same day, except for when we were kids, or whenever my family is around, then we hear Marcia and Gail, right? So anyway, Marcia, I go up to her and I'm like, oh my goodness, your name is Marcia. And she said, yeah. And I said, and that's how you pronounce it? And she said, yeah. And I said, the only person that I know whose name is Marcia is my sister. And the Marcia in the salon was probably about the same age as my sister. And I said, I said, how did you come about that name? And she said, I think she said she was Argentinian or something, but she said, she had that, they gave her that name, and so she said, she was Marcia. So I was like, oh, and I said, and you're an engineer and a doctor? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, what kind of doctor are you? And she said, I'm a radiologist. And I was like, what? I'm like, what? And she says, I'm a radiologist. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, I've had a lot of experience with radiology lately. And she said, really? She said, well, what kind of tests are you having run? And I said, no. I said, you're here to get your hair done, get your hair. And she's like, no, I love my job. I love what I do. And I absolutely love talking about it. And she's like, I really would love to hear what tests you're having run. So I told her what was going on. I told her how they wanted to run do this ultrasound. And she was like, oh, no, no. She was like, one thing that I love is that, with Ox, you can pull up your films and everything on your phone. She's like, pull it all up on your phone right now. I'm gonna look at it for you. I'll tell you what it is. And I'm like, no, no, I was like, really? You here trying to get your hair done? She's like, nope, nope, pull them up, pull them up. So I pulled up the report. She was like, I don't have my glasses. She's like, read the report to me, and then I'll put my glasses on. I'll look at the film. So here, this woman is sitting in the chair. Dana's doing her hair, right? I'm reading the report, and she's like, okay, you hear that number, that one number? And I said, yeah. She's like, that tells me everything I need to know. She was like, that tells me it's not. She's like, I know they're saying it's borderline, but I'm telling you, it's not cancer. I really don't believe that it's cancer. She's like, go have the test on. She's like, but I'm going to tell you right now. She's like, let me see it. So I showed her the film, and she was like, yeah, I don't think it is. She's like, but go have your ultrasound done. She said, but I'm going to tell you, I really don't think it is. And so I was like, oh my God. And I just kept thinking, this is a miracle. Like, I met, first of all, it was all of the stuff fell into place, right? I got to go see the urologist when I was supposed to, the next morning. I had that, encounter with Gail at his office. Then I had the encounter with Marcia. And then Dana was like, and you were late. She was like, if you would have come on time, if you wouldn't have been late, you wouldn't even run into Marcia. And I said, no, I said, that's where you're wrong. I said, I was right on time. I said, because God has perfect timing. He needed me here at the same time that Marcia was here. So that Marcia, it's not lost on me that Marcia is telling Gail that she doesn't have cancer. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And I just knew that that was a miracle. I knew that that was not a coincidence, right? And so it was like so exciting for me. And so, of course, the ultrasound people called me at the end of May and they said, "We need you to come in now. The doc's here now. It's going to be here on I forget whatever day it was. At the end of May, he's going to be here and he can see you then." And so I said, "Okay." So I went and had that ultrasound done, and they infuse you with micro bubbles in order for the contrast, in order to see what it really is, and they tell you immediately, what it is. And he told me immediately that it wasn't cancer. I already knew. I was like not even going to go have the test on, but my daughter was like, "You got to go have the test. You can't not go." So I was like, "All right." So, but I knew he was telling me something that I already knew, but I couldn't see him. He wasn't in the room with me. I guess this is the new way of doing things. He was supposed to, I thought, be in the room with me, but he wasn't. They called him, and the lady did the ultrasound, and he looked at it on his screen, and then interpreted it at the same time, right? And so my back was to him, and I don't know if you could see him on the screen or not, but my back was to him, and he says, "Miss Johnson?" And I say, "Yes." And he says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Johnson." And I'm going to be reading your ultrasound today. And I was like, "Of course he is. Of course he's Dr. Johnson, right?" Because we had Gail and we had Marcia. So, of course, we needed Johnson. We needed Dr. Johnson, right? So, to me, that's too many things lining up. I mean, right? That's like seemingly impossible things that are true and real that happened to me. And to me, it's a miracle. And I am free. I'm okay. They want to do another one in another year, but they don't expect anything to happen. And so, talk about great gratitude, and being thankful for my blessings. Absolutely, but I just don't feel like, that I really feel like that was a miracle. And I told Dana when it was happening, I was like, "You're witnessing a miracle right now, I can tell you." Because those things, all those synchronicities, all of that doesn't happen, right? In a row, unless it's supposed to. That's how I feel about it. So anyway, I couldn't help but share this story with y'all, and to show y'all that, I know everybody that answered the question said yes, they believe in miracles. Absolutely, you believe in miracles, and that, and I'm so glad that y'all do, and I hope y'all see them every day. I hope they are revealed to you every day. Look for them in your everyday life because they are absolutely there, so okay, so that's my story for tonight. I would absolutely love to hear your miracle stories. You can either put them in the comments if you want to do that, or if you want to email me, please email me. You can leave me a message, whatever you want to do. Please tell me your miracle stories because I would love to hear them. And maybe ask you permission to share them as well. So anyway, I am so grateful and so blessed, and I know it. Okay, so what questions do y'all have? That's my story. So what questions do y'all have? Do y'all have it? I'm going to take a sip of drink real quick, and y'all tell me, what are your questions? What do y'all want to know about? Oh, that's something else. If y'all want to send me like suggestions or questions or something that y'all would like me to address, like if y'all have topics that y'all want me to talk about or whatever, please send them to me because that's what always takes me the longest. That's why it takes me so long to come back, is because I don't really know what to say, what to talk about, and things happen to me, and I'm like, I don't know, would people want to know about that? But if I have like a little list, then I can certainly address them. So, all right, thank y'all for all of y'all's support, and you know and and claps and everything. Nobody has any questions? No? All right. I'm all right with that. So a couple of other things. I want to remind y'all that I have a YouTube channel and it's GJ Medium. If you go to YouTube and you look up GJ Medium, you will find me on YouTube. Right now, it's all of the Facebook lives, but that's another reason why I'm asking y'all for suggestions of what y'all want to know about, because I think I'm going to start recording. What my plan is to start recording just little snippets about different topics and putting them on YouTube. So if you have some suggestions, please let me know. And then the other thing is I have a website. Yay! I have a website, y'all. So just so that y'all know, the website is gailhjohnson.com. And when you go, the opening page is just a little bit about me. And then there's a up at the top, there's a link to services. So you can click on that and see all the services that I offer, the cost for them. There are also buttons where you can book a session. It'll take you to my calendar so you can book a session, see my availability. And then the last page is testimonials. And that's all I have on there right now. And I really just want to thank my friend Molly, because Molly is really the one that put this together and got it up and running for me. And I would not have it if it was not for Molly. And she has just been invaluable to me. So thanks, Molly, for setting that up for me. So I'm going to leave that up there, I guess. And just for y'all to go and check it out, or if you know somebody that wants to schedule an appointment, that's the best place to send them now, is to my website. So I'm very excited about that. Um, let's see. So okay, so folks are saying, giving me a couple of things. I see somebody said something about they love um anything about the angels. And so, okay, so one of my things that I was going to do is like Angels 101, Guardian Angels, Archangels, maybe take one archangel at a time or something, do just a little snippet on different archangels. So I think that would probably be good. And if there's anything else, let's see, what is Dory saying? When her mom was sent home unconscious on hospice, waited for her to die. First option, name was Monica. Two nurses, two Monicas. Wow, look at that, Dory. So this is Dory's story. Um anyway, and it's a little bit long, but that's Dory's story. There was two nurses and they were both named Monica. Um where they were from, I don't know, and I can't read the rest of it, Dory, so I'll have to wait and see it later. All right, so I just want to thank everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed being here tonight. And like I said, please send me some more things. I love doing these things. I love coming on here and doing these for y'all. And I know I'm going to enjoy doing the YouTube stuff as well. So, just keep watching out for me. I'm still around. I'm still doing readings. Of course, if anybody needs a reading, I'm here. Go to the website, see what I offer, and and schedule an appointment, right? So, all right. So tonight, I have Carolyn Mace's Intimate Conversations with the Divine. I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see this book, but anyway, this is one of my most favorite books. And I'm gonna read a quick prayer from her book, and it's the Grace of Blessing. Lord, help me see my life's journey as the story of blessings unfolding one day at a time, and help me keep my eyes and heart open to bless others along the way. My life would be a long and empty journey were it not for all of those I love. Let the blessings that come to me come through me as well. Let them shower those who already reside in my heart and those in need whom I have yet to love. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming. I really appreciate y'all. I'll let y'all know when I do this again, and I'll let y'all know when I start putting little YouTube videos on my YouTube channel, okay? All right, y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.